It's WICR. This is the...
Good afternoon. Welcome to Today with Matt and Dave. I'm Matt Ricker.
I'm Dave Horvath.
And this is our first post-election show. Very, very interesting election indeed. It was just crazy the way it turned out. I'm sure you could agree with me there, Dave.
Oh yeah, the way it, hey, listen, we did a all-day, especially you, Matt, all-day
Almost 12 hours.
of election coverage, and obviously knowing how the election was going to be, nothing really gets big and juicy until the late hours. But Matt and I were on till about 11 o'clock at night. And, we just saw some of the states coming in, just kind of what was happening. We were like, wow, like, oh my, possibly. And I guess you could say it did end up happening.
Yeah, it definitely was a shocker for many pollsters and many experts in the media. And the media was also caught off guard. Yeah, I mean, it was just definitely a shocker. And, I have this map here that was in the New York Times today. And it shows, like, the areas that were, what different areas voted which way. So, let's see. Okay, so I'll start with the tri-state area. We have Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. Those all were Democratic, which is not surprising. Every election has been very left in New York, very blue. But
it's all down in your lower Manhattan area. That's where you're gonna get always a huge amount of blue voting. Where if you go up north in the state, it's actually a lot more red. But like population-wise, it's never going to go red. I mean, I think the only time I ever seen it go red was when we had Reagan run.
Yes, and that was definitely well, don't quote me on it, but I think it was a landslide.
Both of his elections were landslides.
Yeah,
he won 8 states in one election, 49 states in the other. Both of his times he ran, he had over 500 electoral votes. So just put that in perspective.
But another thing is that it was just interesting to see how back in when Reagan was running, in the final week before the election, he was slipping in the polls, and I forget who he ran against, but he was slipping in the polls, and then he won. I mean, then people were caught off guard. But anyway, Clinton won a total...
With Reagan you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, Reagan won by a landslide. It wasn't really surprising that Reagan won.
No. But the polls, though, were very low. Not very low, but just lower. But he still... No, he still definitely won in a landslide, and it did shock people.
I would say that really the... person that I think was the most landslide definitely has to be Donald. Really went from being supposed to be getting blown out, maybe 100 electoral votes total he's gonna get, and right now projections have him at about 306 because they really haven't come out 100% with all 538. I mean, I don't know on that article there. What does it say? It says 279 to 228. That does not equal 538 if you add those together. So I don't know why they just haven't yet put in states like Michigan. I don't think they ever officially gave him Michigan. Some states, some polls did, or they just kind of jumped the gun and said, okay, he won Michigan.
It says, for the crucial battleground state of Florida, it says, in this crucial state, Mr. Trump narrowly defeated Mrs. Clinton by winning white voters by large margins. However, Mrs. Clinton won about 80,000 more votes than Mr. Obama in heavily Hispanic Miami-Dade County. So that wasn't shocking because the Hispanic vote definitely was in
Clinton's backyard, especially after what Donald had said multiple times about Hispanics and how really calling out Latinos and just saying horrible things. I will say though, he did surprisingly get 30% of the Latino vote, which is a lot higher than they expected.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely, the pollsters and experts were wrong about that.
And you know why? We had some talk about this in class. I really believe you scared it. At one point, I don't know, one point for most of the election, honestly, to be a Donald Trump supporter, everyone looked down upon you.
Mm-hmm.
So in these pollings, people really weren't confident in saying they're a Donald Trump supporter.
Right.
Why would you want to? Especially, I don't know. Maybe it's just the Northeast, where the Northeast is heavily usually goes blue almost all the time, the entire Northeast. But it was like if you said you were a Donald Trump fan, you would get berated by people calling you horrible things.
Oh yeah.
And it's happening now. Now you watch the supporters who are now happy that their man won, and now they're getting attacked in riots. And there's videos. And I mean, come on. I'm sorry. If this was the other way around and Clinton won, I'm sorry. Trump's supporters would not be going and beating Clinton supporters. This is the point where they're so. It's so uncivilized, and I get, okay, maybe you're upset.
Yeah.
But the idea is you're so aggressive, and I'd say I've experienced this with many Democratic voters in this election.
Yeah.
I'm an independent. I vote both ways. But I look at this, I know I have friends who are very right, and I just look at when Donald won, they were happy, but they didn't go rub it in these kids' faces. Well, these people, these people who vote Democrat were so angry and just so throughout this election. You mentioned I'm a Republican. They go, what's wrong with you? Like the Republican Party is not the kids. The millennials that are Republicans are not the same Republican Party of the 1820s. They don't have the same beliefs. They have a lot more of actually a libertarian view. It's actually funny, libertarian view, but they have the Republican views, but they also have the Democratic views. But together, they really believe. I believe both parties were changing. We talked about this in class today, Matt. But I really think both parties need to change.
They need to catch up with reality.
Because I'm sorry, if you're going to scream at me, and I'm going to get surrounded and get told that I'm many words I'm not going to say on air because it's so horrible. And this is why Donald Trump won.
And because derogatory,
horrible terms. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is why he won the election. It's because these Democrats wanted to just berate. And I saw this. I'm looking at this from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
I can see why Donald won because the way that these Republican people were treated by the Democrats is horrific.
Derogatory.
And it was not the same way. It was not like it was back and forth. It was kind of like how Clinton attacked Trump in all the elections and all the debates.
Yeah.
How she was on the attack. That's how the people are, and I could still say it. And I know some. I'm not gonna say all. I know some people who are Democrat, and they, you know what? They were very mature about this.
Yeah.
And I said thank you because if you go online, the amount of people that just, I get it. The man has said some bad things. Don't get me wrong, but they're jumping to conclusions to the point where they talk about the LGBT. Yeah. Trump has never been against the LGBT. So continuing to say that, voting him in, you just gave away the LGBT and you just told them they don't matter. That's not true. Maybe in the eyes of Mr. Pence, Mike Pence, I will not disagree with you there. Mike Pence is extremely conservative, extremely religious, and he does not agree with all that with gay marriage and things along those lines. Donald Trump never once said he did not agree with gay marriage. Donald Trump never said that he himself was against the LGBT. He, held the flag up after getting in. He also, at the RNC, came out and said how he's going to protect the LGBT from the forces in the Middle East, because in the Middle East, people, they
don't support that.
They don't support it, but they also, you will die.
Yeah.
You're at least. It's honestly it's horrific. So that's what I'm getting annoyed about, seeing those when people are like, I'm sorry to that. I'm also the only people I feel sorry for that I hope he has respect. I hope he changes his tone with women, and I hope he changes tone with the Latino, because those people that he really stepped on their feet. With the African population, I have never heard him say anything. I know Ben Carson, who is African American, one of his biggest supporters, endorsed him immediately after dropping out. He has said that this man is not racist, but yet he's racist in the eyes of towards African Americans, and I don't know why. Please enlighten me, because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I hope he changes. He really owes it to women. because he has said
And to
bad
change
things.
his tone.
And I really believe he will, because I've seen some videos, and just if you watch him after winning, if he talks like that, acts like that, and he can bring the economy back, I think we're going to be okay. And it's interesting because he's been preaching for the longest time that we're not at 6% unemployment rate. He said it's more like 20. It's if they said he brought a fact out. He said if you file for try to get a job when you're unemployed and you don't get it, you get put in as down as you got a job.
Yeah.
And the unemployment rate. So the rate isn't 6.5%, as he says.
Right.
He said it's more like 20%.
Yeah.
Which I guess I have to say 6.5% is pretty low, because I know a lot of people without jobs, a lot of adults without jobs. So 6.5% did seem kind of low.
Yeah.
But I guess the idea is, okay, people, no, he's not perfect. Not telling you that. How about let's see what happens. Give the man
A chance.
some type of chance, or just hear him out. And
Yeah.
all we know is this man could end up becoming, the next Andrew Jackson. 'Cause Andrew Jackson was in the same position.
Yeah.
Everyone hated this man. Oh, he was hated. He was so hated by everyone. Somehow,
Right.
but he won the election somehow.
Yeah.
And Andrew Jackson's on the $20 bill now. Andrew Jackson wasn't that bad of a president.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, though, it's cautious. As a Trump, as listening to these Trump supporters who are talking about make America great again.
Yeah.
I hope when they say make America great, they're talking economically,
Yeah.
not socially.
Yeah.
Not with race, because we've made leaps and bounds forwards. I don't want to see that it push back. I want to see him economically bring back, thousands of jobs, which will then help all these cities that have just gone, felt it. All these people that felt you're going to create jobs. If I understand he talks about the deportation and all that, getting rid of. Instead of that, Donald, how about we do this? How about we make a program that we get all these illegal immigrants, we can make them legalized?
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing I want. Just pay your tax. All I look at it as a legal citizen. I know they come and this is for a new life, and I get it. It makes sense. I'm not telling them.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw them out in the middle of nowhere. I just want them to be legalized.
Yeah.
Because that's not fair to the paying working class individual, as all of us.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what race you are, for that, because everyone was working. All your tax dollars are going to that.
Right. Yeah. I certainly agree, and definitely the path to citizenship needs to be revamped and
fixed.
It needs to be totally scrapped and start from scratch.
It shouldn't take 10 years. I was just talking with a friend yesterday who was from Yugoslavia. He just got his citizenship this year, and he was excited. He did support Trump, but he said to me, he goes, it's funny with all these deportation. He goes, I'm not worried. He says, I got my citizenship. I'm a citizen here now.
Yeah.
But it took him 10 years, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's 9.5 years too long. It should be
Yeah.
the maximum amount of time it should take should be a year.
Yeah,
if you can go through
that's
600,000 emails of Hillary Clinton in 8 days, you can legalize a person in under a year.
Oh, yeah.
You should be able to legalize. I mean, honestly, what they do is you take the test, you pass the test.
Yeah.
And you get checked obviously for a record. If you're good there, let him be a citizen.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
So I'll just go through quickly a little rundown of who won what states. So he won Wyoming, West Virginia, Oklahoma, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas, Nebraska, Tennessee, Montana, Kansas, Louisiana, Indiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Utah, Alaska, South Carolina, Iowa, Texas, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So that totals, it's still a rough number, but it totals 279, and that'll probably change in the coming days. Clinton, on the other hand, got 228 total, and she got Minnesota, Colorado, Nevada, Maine, Virginia, New Mexico, Oregon, Delaware, Connecticut, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Illinois, Washington, New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, California, Vermont, Hawaii, and D.C. So that's basically who won what. Very interesting. I was truly shocked when he got Pennsylvania. Like,
he came all the way back to Pennsylvania. I know that.
Yeah, and it on this map it shows that Philadelphia, as we were saying earlier, like the main cities, like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, had an overwhelming majority of Democratic votes. But then it seems, if you look here, it seems like all around those cities were red, and that was just interesting because that was a really really tight
Race.
race.
That went
for
down. That was
Pennsylvania.
the state. That went down till 99% in, and then
Oh, yeah.
call it. Everyone's waiting to call it.
It was taking a while for both Pennsylvania and Michigan to come through. Michigan was a tough one.
And honestly, I still believe what Matt mentioned this Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, Tuesday 12 times, that it ended up going down to the automotive industry and how in Detroit, it's that's the idea is Donald knows business.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I think he was elected.
Yeah.
In cities like that, they said, listen, he can bring business back. He knows the loopholes. It's not, listen, people, it's not illegal. It's just immoral. If you're gonna go do things like that, it's not illegal. Using a loophole. The idea is if because he knows the loopholes, he closes the loopholes or creates a tax that's gonna force these countries to come back to this to manufacture here. It's gonna create jobs. People, and it's gonna help.
Right.
Because that's what I look at. At the end of the day, if this man, I don't care what if he doesn't, he doesn't have to do anything to his presidency. If he can just fix the economy, help it, and just honestly protect us, I think it's an okay.
Yeah.
I look at it though. At the end of the day, truly, why did he run for president? He would not run for president unless he really did give.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it all and actually care about the country. Think about that. He has no need. People are saying today, oh, well, he's never had a qualified position in government ever. I went, you're right.
He's outside the establishment. That's the main point. He wanted to get out of that rhetoric that when most people run, they have political experience, which, yes, of course, if you're a governor of a state, like Ronald Reagan was governor of California for, I think, 2 terms, and he did a wonderful job for the most part being president. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, on the flip side, has economic experience. He has
the experience.
Hotels, casinos, and more.
He has the experience that they don't. And then he has the business side, which could end up being detrimental. Who knows?
Yeah.
No one will know. No one can tell me. In 4 years, we'll see what happens.
Right.
And I've also heard people, we'll hope, after these 4 years, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Who knows? What if this man doesn't have, what if this guy here just shocks the world, because that's all he's been doing is shocking the world.
Oh, yeah. And
what if he shocks the world and ends up really establishing us as the number one power again? Because right now we're not. He's made the point for years, because I watched a video from him speaking in the 80s till now. Really interesting. He's been speaking for years over how we need to stop spending money in other countries and help it here. And the joke is, it's true. I'm sorry. I get we're supposed to help other countries, but our own country's falling apart. Our airports are falling apart. Our streets, our school system is we are 26th around there in education. We're supposed to be the powerhouse, and we are
something like that. And you make a good point about the schools. You have the crisis of Flint, Michigan, with the water within the lead in the water, and government really didn't offer that many assistance. Okay, sure, they provided water bottles, but I mean, I'm talking assistance like financial assistance.
And the joke is, if that happened in another country, we would be sending $30 million, and I'm sorry. That's a joke. That's a problem with us. We can't help everyone if we can't help ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's internally we're cracking and we're falling apart.
And the veterans, the whole VA system should be reformed. You have lines and lines and lines, a backlog of veterans who are waiting and waiting and waiting to be seen by a doctor. And as we saw, I think it was last year in Arizona, the Phoenix. One of the Phoenix VA hospitals, they were cooking the books. They were like changing the amount of days that the patients waited. I mean, it's just disgusting. And I believe that Donald Trump will help that. And on a final note, I'm sure he's going to try, and I'm sure he'll be able to unite the country.
I hope.
Yeah.
Because what it is. Everyone, stop with the hate.
Yes.
Gotta spread the love. I guess it's funny with all these riots going on after this.
Yeah.
If you saw riots 8 years ago by the right side, they would have been called racist And it's like, well, what you're doing is no better. You're beating people. There's shootings. There's a shooting in Seattle last night. God bless. I
Yeah.
hope everyone's okay there. Like, come on, people. This is
I
so
know.
uncivilized. We're not
Very unreasonable.
We're not in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We're not in the Middle East. We're acting as if it's, we're barbaric. I
Yep.
understand you may not like the guy, but also I gotta realize these Facebook rants aren't gonna do anything.
Oh no.
Oh my god, and just calling everyone, just using these horrible terms has to stop.
I
Please.
totally agree. And that this whole rhetoric about him with, as we were saying, being racist and stuff. I mean, yes, he did make comments about that, but on the flip side, Hillary Clinton used that basket of deplorables comment. So
It's just respect.
yeah.
I'm sorry, if you don't respect others, they're not going to give you respect back.
And there's nothing you can do. He's our president now. I mean,
Complain all about it, cry all you want about it. It's done.
It's done.
Now it's called, what we need to do is start treating others with respect. Start, honestly, in general, though. This doesn't even have to just because of this election. I've noticed over the years as I've grown up, no one respects each other.
I agree.
And that's what gets me annoyed. You're really so, like, it's time to just stop. It's a point where you getting mad at me because of my political belief, or me getting mad at you isn't helping anyone, but it's only making things worse. You're talking about you want to fix the country. It doesn't matter if Clinton got it. The way that people are acting, the country's not going to get fixed. These cracks are only going to sever more. And what's going to end up happening is it's going to break in two.
Yeah.
We already had one civil war. I don't want to have to see another one ever occur. I don't want to have in the history of man. There should never be another one. So it's time to stop. Let's work together. And you know what? If you want to change, let your politicians know. It's not
write letters, make phone calls, organize a peaceful protest.
Not this burning the flag. That gets. I have military friends who, oh my God, they went on rants because burning the flag, really. That is just you're a sore loser, and get out of this country. You should not be in this country if you're burning the American flag. Then you're not American. Get out.
It seems like it's like the end of the world when people are doing that. I mean,
I'm sorry to cut you off, Matt, but it's you know what? I have people from other countries sneaking into this country because they want. Now this is the flip side. I have illegal immigrants coming into this country who want to be a part of this country because they want a better life. And then you have these people born here who think that they have a right to burn the American flag. You know what? Get out. I'll take those up. I'm going to switch you with the illegal immigrants because you know what? They have respect.
Yeah.
They respect. They work hard. And what do? You sit on the couch all day and then complain and then burn the flag. Yeah. Get out of this country. You don't deserve to be here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about you have some sports.
I got some sports, yeah,
and then later on the Billboard Top 10 and entertainment. So stay with us.